Hello, good vach, everyone. I hope you had a beautiful Yom Tov. We will start in Mitzvah Hashem with Sichos Baal Shem Tov. The first thing is the Baal Shem Tov said, anybody who loves his friend totally and completely, he becomes one person with him. He knows his thoughts the way he knows his own thoughts. This explains why the tzaddikim know the thoughts of the people before them. Because the tzaddik loves every Jew completely and with a complete heart. And he feels you. He sees you and he hears you and he feels you. All because he loves you with such completeness that he becomes one with you. The reason why we don't feel what others feel is because we are too wrapped up in ourselves. We love ourselves and we watch other people. And we basically judge them the way that their actions or their presence or whatever impacts us. Some people we feel like automatic rejection, like, this person doesn't come, in Hebrew it says it doesn't come good in my eye. Kind of like I don't know what it is, but there's that person I like, immediately. But it's all about me. It's all about me because I don't love other people. The reason why I don't love other people is because I'm afraid, because I'm gashmistic. Many people have gone through life, having been betrayed by the people that they love most. For such people, for those people, to love anyone is like taking a serious risk, not something that people are apt to do. This particular vort is really connecting with the next one. Baal Shem Tov said once to a certain person, if you will accept upon you everything that comes to you in this world with love, then you'll have this world and the next world. So that person said, "May Hashem Yisborach give me koyach to accept everything with love." The Shem Tov said, "You said the truth." Rabbeinu says in Torah Daled that when a person, knows that everything that transpires, with him, everything transpired on him is for his own good. So Rabbeinu says this bechina is me'ein olam haba. And this comes together with what the Baal Shem Tov is saying here. Because the Maisa, the only difference between Olam Haza and Olam Haba is Olam Haza, you have a body. And with this body is pulling a person down to Gashmis, and therefore a person has a preference. I'd rather this happen to me and this don't happen to me. I'd rather this happen to me or this won't happen to me, and so forth and so on. It's normal because a person lives in his body. But when a person is zoicha to get to a madrega that he knows that everything that transpires in his life is for his own good, then really there is no difference between Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba. Except that you're still living in Olam Hazeh, and Chas Chalila, with bad tidings. So in this world we say Buch Danamis, but in Olam Haba, Lasid Lavoi, we'll say Tov HaMeitiv on everything. Because that's the truth. Everything Kadosh Baruch Hu does with you is good. Rabbeinu says in Torah Daled that this is the only way that a person can actually get to this level and accept, that everything that transpires in his life is for his own good. A person has to elevate, has to extricate. This is the malchus from the golus amongst the goyim. The simplest way, and the only way to really do it, at the root is confess before Talmid Chacham everything that he does. But Talmid Chacham is the Shorish HaMalchus. The Dibur in itself is a Malchus. But we can understand it also in a very practical, simple terms. That what does it mean that the Malchus is by the Goyim? Malchus means the will of a person. Whatever a person wants, the Malchus, the mouth, when a king uses his mouth in order to give orders to people. The orders that he gives are his will. He wants this one to do this and this one to do that, and so forth and so on. The only way that now we are in this world in a Gashmis the Kabadi. So we want the will of the body, from physical pleasure from food, to emotional pleasure, and we want to escape our discomfort. So we find different kind of escape routes. It can be the internet, it could be movies, it can be sports, person, following sports teams and stuff like that. This is because what a person wants is the Goyisha wants. It's very simple. But the thing is that these Goyisha wants independent on the dibur, on the speech of a person. When a person controls his speech. The ultimate is that he is able to confess before Talmid Chacham. But in the meantime, the dibur of the person should be used in order to elevate the malchus to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In other words, B'yom hu Hashem echad u'shmo echad, which means that dibur should be aligned along the will that I want to come close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I want my will to align with the will of Hashem. So this is the positive, what a person should say. On the other hand, there's the negative that a person needs to stay away from. A person should be very careful not to say things that enhance the control that the Klippers in the Sitra Achra, the Goyish realm, has on him. Maybe, obviously, you can't get out, you can't extricate the Malchus in one fell swoop. You can't do it in one shot. But there's more to it. While this is going on, a person should keep his speech clear and clean. As Rabbeinu says that the speech of a person has great power. A person should never joke and say, I will do X, Y, Z, even in jest. Even in order to persuade someone, we have the king of the kingdom of Israel, the time when Israel and Yehuda were split. So the king of Israel at the time was Yehu, and Yehu wanted to capture all the priests of the Baal. So he called them and he said that I think Omri was the king before him, served the Baal a little. He says, but Yehu will serve him a lot. That he will serve the Baal a lot. This was all a ruse. They all came to him, and he slaughtered them to the last one. But he uttered the words, Yehu will serve the Baal a lot. Towards the end of his days, that's exactly what he did. Because the Dibur, what he said, forced him to do it. If a person wants to know what kind of Olam Haba he has, he should listen to his speech, to his own speech. What are you saying? Because a person is creating worlds with his speech. That's the main weapon of getting the malchus from my wants, my wills, my wishes, my craving out of the realm of the Sitra Achra and align them with that which HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants. I know my Rav Shlita has experienced some decline physically and not mentally, but the shrinkage of the brain. There's something that happens with age. And he went to the doctor. The doctor told him this is what's going on. And he did an MRI. He told him this is what it's. And he finished. He accepted it and finished. That was the end of it. And so I remember speaking to him. I know he can't walk really. He's in a wheelchair. And So I spoke to him once. I said, I'm praying for you. I said that you should regain, the physical health that you had 20 years ago with, all the spiritual benefits that you have now. But, with, so he said, how do you know that 20 years ago was better? Maybe now it's better. Straight. He knows that everything that happens to him is for his own good, period. No ins, buts about it. That's it. That's pshat that Olam Hazeh is like Olam Haba. Rabbeinu says, what's the difference between, before, during a person's lifetime and afterwards? He said, well, now he lives here, and then he made us like moving with his hands towards the cemetery. He says, then he lives there. He resides here and then resides there. There's no difference. The fear that people have about, what will happen in the afterlife are all based on the way that we see ourselves in this world, in these bodies. But that's not what's going to be. Not at all. Something else completely. Shouldn't worry about that. Just trust the koyach of the tzaddik. But Hashem, everything is good. And everything will be good. Now, Be'ez Hashem, let's look at Sichos Haran for this week and see what we have. Once Rabbeinu said, no one is against me. No one is disputing me at all. Now, we know that there were great disputes, and people disputed and persecuted him a great deal. Rabbeinu says nobody disputes me. Nobody is fighting me. Only what? He says they are disputing on someone who did so and so that they are inventing. Those people who are against them are inventing about him. That he did this or did that, whatever it is. On such a person, bevadai, as Rabbeinu says, such a person, bevadai, it's proper to dispute. In other words, those who are against him are inventing lies and falsehoods that he never even thought of. And so everything is just a lie on a person that actually did or would do those things that they invent. Bevadei should be disputed. He says they're not disputing him. Because if they would have known his great tzidkus and his great kedusha and how high and awesome he is, they wouldn't dispute him at all either. They will run after him with tremendous excitement. So what are they disputing? What are they against? They're against somebody that did those lies that they invented. No, somebody like this. Of course, it's proper to be. He says, Rabbeinu says, what they did is they cut out for themselves. They created an image of a person, and with that person, they're against. They cut out like a person, and and this is the person that they're against. This is the person they're fighting against. They're not fighting him at all. They're only fighting against this imaginary image that they assign to him, they attribute to him. It has absolutely nothing to do with him. This is a very, very important lesson for us to understand, to learn, both about others as well as ourselves. I just recently found out that um, many years ago, many years ago, when I was a very young man, I hurt the feeling of somebody in a very severe way. And that person was very upset with me for many years. When I finally found out about it, I mean, I remember the incident that caused that person to feel the way, but I had absolutely no idea that my actions were interpreted in such a way. When I look at it, I'm like, duh, what did you think? And it's a feeling like, it's like a person, an African person in his 40s, 50s, or whatever, 50s, 60s, whatever he is, that suddenly remembers that when he was a kid, what they have like coups and revolutions in Africa. Somehow kids end up with machine guns and with rifles, with assault rifles, with AK-47s. And there's a saying in Africa, when a 7-year-old holding an AK-47 is pointing at you and tells you to put your hands out, you do it on the spot. Because for him, it's just a game. But the gun is real. The bullets are real. If he shoots the gun, the bullets kill. In the child's mind, is okay, he kills. Okay, now it's your turn. Kind of, you get up and now, but people don't get up. This kind of, you have absolutely no idea what other people see in you. We should be so careful with that. The same thing, people have a certain impression of someone. They don't even know him. They don't even know him. You can see, politically, all these people who are talking about Netanyahu. I mean, I don't know if he's a big tzaddik, obviously not, but those things they're saying has nothing to do with him. But it doesn't matter. That's what they want to think about him. So they get verhitzt into it, and on a person like that they actually say, that does all these things that they say that he does or did or whatever, Bevaret, such a person should be persecuted or whatever. But we have no idea what somebody else is. How much more so when it comes to the tzaddik? It is so difficult to get emunas chachamim, especially in Rabbeinu, because the Yetzer Hara is fighting you tooth and nail, not to believe in his true greatness, in his true holiness, and his great strength. You look at it, it's a young man saying all these weird things about himself, whatever. You're talking about the biggest chiddush that has ever lived. There's never been anybody like that. So why is the Yetzer Hara fighting so hard? Because your tikkun is in his hands. It all depends on how you are able to get close to him. It's very easy, Baruch Hashem, to believe in the Baal Shem Tov, in the Gra, in the Baal Tanya, in the Arizal, Moshe Bar Yochai, Moshe Rabbeinu. It's very easy. It comes, obviously, obviously. Why? Because the tikkun is in the hands of the one that you're having problems with. Because it all depends on him. That's the one the Yetzer Hara does not want you to get close to. Because our fate in this world and in the next world depends on how close we can get to him. And the closeness and the contact between us and him is in the love that we are able to develop to him. In the meantime, we have all this nonsense in our minds that are inventing all kinds of personage and whatever it is that has absolutely nothing to do with him. And we can't help it. It's a heart does not let. But a person needs to have emunah in his own emunah. And beg HaKadosh Baruch Hu, say, I know he is the tzaddik emes, that everything depends on that. And I'm begging HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please, I don't see him. I see some kind of an image that my own Averas have invented. Or I see an image that this kind of, people have this tendency that they really wish to throw all of their responsibility and all their weight for somebody else. Let somebody else tell me what to do. And take care of the responsibility. I don't want to carry the responsibility. Just tell me what to do. I'll be fine. People don't understand the benefits of slavery. People only see, the bad parts. Slavery absolves a person from all responsibilities. All he has to do is obey. Once he goes free, wow, he has to make decisions. He has to, deal with pressures. People want to be slaves. So they also, they take certain people and they invent an image, they cut out an image of a tzaddik, somebody who really isn't. Yetzer Hara does not stand in their way. Why not? Go ahead. Yetzer Hara knows that this particular person can be Elohid, Baruch Hashem. I'm not saying Chas v'Chalila, but he can't. He doesn't have it. He cannot fix you. Only the tzaddik emes can fix you. The tzaddik emes, Yetzer Hara starts inventing all kinds of make-believe images and calls it Rabbi Nachman. It's not who he is. It's a fight of a lifetime. Literally. B'ezrat Hashem, now we're stepping ahead. Baruch Hashem, we receive the Torah. Now we're stepping ahead, B'ezrat Hashem. It's time to prepare ourselves for Rosh Hashanah in Ummah, B'ezrat Hashem. And Kodesh Baruch Hu should help us all. B'ezrat Hashem, to be good Jews. We'll know that everything that happens to us, everything transpires in our lives, is for our own benefit, is for our own good. Vaday, Olam Hazeh will be like Olam Haba will be. In Olam Hazeh will be like Olam Haba. B'vaday, B'ezrat Hashem, we'll have a Gavaldig Olam Haba. So we'll have a great week. B'ezrat Hashem, we will meet together on Monday night.